we're going to be having proper formal awards for fintech in Nigeria, backed by the Fintech Association of Nigeria. So we just want to share with you a preliminary view of what the thinking behind this is and what it would look like, so that if there are also comments and contributions you would like to make to the association, before that time, they can be brought on board. But the idea is definitely to create an avenue whereby formal recognition of advancements in fintech can actually be brought to the fore within the Nigerian fintech landscape. Now, why awards? That's the question. There has been rapid development in fintech. We are getting increasingly sophisticated. There have been huge inflow of new players, local and international, coming into the Nigerian space. We think it's time, the time is ripe to actually recognize outstanding players in this space, as it's actually beginning to start getting a bit crowded. Let's know clearly who are the ones taking the lead in advancing the fintech agenda within Nigeria and give them a formal recognition. So the idea is to shine a spotlight on such companies and give them greater prominence as they are also advancing the fintech agenda in Nigeria. Now, in terms of the fintech ecosystem in Nigeria, there have been several attempts made to classify fintech players. And for the purpose of this presentation, we are going to use a classification developed by a company called Irrational Innovations. They provide funding and make investments into fintech across the world, and they've taken a particular interest in Africa. So the players that they have recognized in fintech fall into trading, savings, banking, insurance, comparison, that's comparison trading. That's when you want comparison shopping, payments and remittances, which we will see is like the biggest aspect of fintech in Nigeria. Data, we actually have some providing, one player or two providing data services. Bitcoin is emerging in this space. Lending and financing has seen an upsurge over the last 2 years. And business solutions, that is fintech-enabled business solutions, standard business services enabled through fintech. From data, rather than just presenting information, analytics is a big area where fintech is playing in other parts of the world, looking at South Africa as well. Can we provide online analytics solutions that are able to provide business analytics through a platform that can add value and monetize that information? From just rendering and delivering Bitcoin services, can we expand to proper blockchain-enabled services? Because as we all know, blockchain is a lot more than Bitcoin. It's just one of the dozens of use cases. Can we really look at proper blockchain companies set up, run out of Nigeria, providing services to the world? Specialized lending, beyond just the generic retail lending, there's educational lending, there's lending for SMEs, there's lending for all kinds of specialized use cases that we have niche players operating in that area. As this space expands, we may begin to see that happening within Nigeria as well. And education, fintech-enabled education. Honestly, if there's any country that needs that, I think we actually do. So this is just indicative of what comparing to other jurisdictions within Africa can bring into our space. And there are many other use cases that we can look at that are localized to Nigeria, peculiar to our own needs in this country. So the idea essentially is to, from a perspective of moving the industry forward, innovation is a key theme for the FinTech Awards that we are going to be launching. It's fundamental and core to what we want to encourage, recognize, and help advance within the industry. But beyond innovation, there are other themes that we'll be considering. We'll be looking at social impressions, because in this digital era, especially as we are trying to bring on board our digital natives, I have 2 teenagers in my house. I'm sure quite a few of you have a few in that age range, maybe in the university or just coming out. Digital natives, they are the ones that are going to be joining the workforce very shortly. They are the ones that are going to be generating income very shortly and consuming services. So how much are we able to connect to them where they live? That's in social media. So social impressions is something that we can consider in recognition of how fintech players are advancing in this space. Adoption levels are also important. launch a product is one thing, set up a business is one thing, but how many users? What volume? What value? How much impact are you able to make in terms of adoption? We think that should also be analyzed, acknowledged, and recognized and rewarded within this space. Service excellence. It's one distinguishing feature of fintech over and above traditional service models. The whole digital story is around service, customer-oriented service. So any exceptional players in this space, we think, should actually also be given a special recognition within the Nigerian landscape. And then, my favorite section, trailblazers. People who are going into areas in fintech that no one has gone before. Either established players or new players opening up new segments of the market to extend, deepen, broaden, and expand fintech within our jurisdiction. Definitely, I'm sure you agree with me, these need to be recognized. Not so? Do we agree? Excellent. And on the radar is another possible category. If you're going to compare that to the Grammys, it's like Best New Act for the year. Those who are starting to do interesting things, and we expect over the next 12 months, they're going to make a major splash within the market. Recognizing them as well could also be useful. But this isn't everything. This is still an evolving model. There are other areas that we can consider, but just to give you a taste of the kind of recognition we plan to give and the awards we plan to give out, and the philosophy of it is to drive the advancement of fintech in Nigeria by creating visibility for those who are actually putting in the blood, sweat, and tears to actually bring these business, customer-focused solutions into the market and drive them as proper businesses. That is what this is meant to do. So, how will the awards go? So as we are in the digital era, we intend to leverage technology significantly in organizing and executing these awards. So the idea is we'll develop a web portal and a mobile app that will be used to manage the process. We'll make sure the criteria for the awards are widely published at least 3 months in advance of the award ceremony. Nominations for each of the categories will be received and analyzed via the portal and the app, and voting will be performed online also through the portal and through the app. The Governing Council of the Fintech Association of Nigeria will screen the top candidates and review submissions to determine the most suitable companies to receive the awards. And a very important step is an independent review will be commissioned to ensure that the process and the outcomes are transparent. So the top nominees and the award winners will be notified and invited formally. Citations will be developed. They will be included in the awards package that will be used on the awards day. And when do we plan to make this happen? Why should anyone be interested in these awards? On the day, there will be a significant amount of local and international visibility. Media coverage, papers, TV, live stream on social media. There will be the presence of course, potential partners and investors that can help propel nominees to the next level of their business. Remember, our agenda is to advance fintech. So definitely, such investors are critical to making sure that the cream of the crop get the type of support that they require to move ahead in their businesses. And this will also serve as a means to alert the industry of where we are, what's our state of play in fintech, and also help advance the overall fintech agenda. We can't have a foreign company coming here and mapping the fintech space for us. We have to build our own map and manage our own map. We have to own this, and we have to drive it ourselves. This is ours, and it's something that we have to run with. So, we are we've started the process, and we are looking at making sure the awards happen sometime in the 3rd quarter of this year, and annually, subsequently. And we need to have the right level of sponsorship to be able to make this happen. So the association will be reaching out to quite a few of you and others not in the room so that this can become a huge and resounding success.